again. With that, we unlock probably a lot of people's, at least a lot of people here in this channel. It's like 2 or 3 people, honestly. This side story. The Nanaya household. Today lucky item, spider. I wonder why they say spider. You think that's foreshadowing? So what's the new one called? Red Demon God. That's what the new one's called. Let's do it. We're going to know more about the Nanaya family. Hey, let me tell you an old story. Red Demon God. Prologue. For a split second, there was a dull yet smooth sound. The man died by getting his neck crushed from the front. It wasn't an instant death, but a painful death, which takes a few seconds after receiving the fatal wound. Even so, the man could never see the figure of the attacker. In a few seconds until he died, the only thing he was thinking was to let the others know that there was an attacker. Another smooth sound. Right next to the man, the other guard, who was literally the arm length of him, died similarly as well. What a bad dream, the man thought. If there were any intruders in the area, they wouldn't even let a rat pass through. And now he was dying without even noticing the death of his partner. This can only be a dream. But this was reality. But it wasn't the work of a human. It could have been a familiar that is skilled in hiding a presence, or the work of a demon unknown to him. The people enlarged. The camera caught the eyeball, caught the figure of the assailant before it lost its function. That was clearly smiling. The figure was a human. The presence and smell was no different from a normal human either. In his hands, he was carrying something that looks like a drumstick. The man was surprised that his neck has been crushed to such a thing, and he was surprised that even more the fact that the assailant was really just a human. The assailant walked on quietly. Another smooth sound. The guards in the other area died just like them. It's a terrible dream, the man thought. Without any presence of reek of murder, the ordinary human, who does not have any mixed blood, was crushed through the tightly defense of the human bloodlines. I see. The man was convinced in the disappearing consciousness. That is our enemy this time. The taboo within the hybrids, the head of the Nanayas, who said to be a demon god. The Nanayas? A demon god? That a silent name. What? Damn, I thought that was Kouma. Nanaya Kitty. Half an hour had passed since the assault began. Kitty had already taken care of all the guards outside the mansion, and now he only needs to assassinate his target within. There were 20 men outside the mansion. There were more than what Kitty was told. 20? Wow. It's an excessive murder, Kitty laughed. It was an innocent laugh, like a child. Dang, he's human. This man's pure human. When they say human, I'm like, man, nah, right? It's Kouma. Kouma's like a demon, bro. It's mixed with demon blood. Now, Kitty's pure human. Because Nanaya can't be tainted, right? I think they mentioned that in the main story of Tsukihime. He can't, as long as he has the blood of Nanaya, he can't turn into a vampire. I think that's why he survived like Sasuke bite or something like that. With an innocent laugh like a child. Killing was the profession of the young man called Nanaya Kitty. To put it simply, an assassin. It was an assassin with a history that is going back generations. No doubt, in the past or present, and hopefully in the future, such a job title should not be allowed. Because it's not allowed. Such things should not exist. That's why the Nanaya family have been living in a shadow, of shadows, and a darker dark. No, the reason why they had to hide in the shadows is not because of the job, but it had to be their bloodline. There's a thing called a demon. Even though it exists within the rule of nature, here is a power that isn't needed because it is said to disrupt its flow. There are many types of them, but there will all appear evil for someone who is within the straight flow. A demon is a disruption of demon hunters, or the gathering of those who fix a disruption. A disruption isn't a single type. The demon hunters fix disruptions within nature, but can't fix the disruption within humans. For example, there's a type of demon called the ogre. There's a type that isn't in a straight flow from the beginning, including a genuine demon. The demon hunters are fit to banish them, but it's a different story when these ogres mix with humans. Because the demon hunters are an organization in the lawful spell branch created by humans to protect human society, they are not supposed to hurt humans. For that reason, they will have a difficult time against the mix of demon and humans. A long time ago, there are many who wish to become hybrids with the demons, who are greater beings, and as a result, a few of them made that possible. Using the power of demons even as a human, they sometimes help the demon hunters while sometimes they become their worst enemies. The ratio is very fragile. The hybrids who place themselves with the demon hunters and the hybrids who oppose the demon hunters hate each other, and they continue to fight below the surface. Of course, the demon hunters oppose the hybrid as well. But as a general principle, demon hunters are those who fix the disruption. Demons are disruption just by existing, so they banish them right away. The demon-human hybrids are not a disruption. In order for a hybrid to be considered a disruption, the demon blood needs to become thicker than the human blood. These demon hybrids can't maintain the human side anymore and are seen as being out of alignment, and the demon hunters finally see them as their target. I know a good example of that if you can't follow. It's probably like Tohno family, right? It's like Akia when her hair turns red. She can't control it. However, when the hybrids go out of alignment, they become the worst enemy for the demon hunters. Because they have a human side, binding spells won't work on them. And because they have alien power of demons, it's impossible to stand up against them with the body of a human. In the past, when weapons were undeveloped, killing them meant many casualties. However, there was a special case. Psychic abilities. Even though the demons and demon hunters oppose each other, their powers actually originate from the same place. Therefore, there's a common rule between them and have a fair fight within its bounds. But rarely, there are ones who are outside of the rule. Those are the alien powers called psychic abilities and the psychics. They don't follow the rules of demons and carry inhuman powers as pure humans. Some say that this is suppressing power that was born from the unconscious of mankind. The target of the suppressions are, no doubt, one who are a threat to the humans, who are the highest primates. People who achieve these abilities don't need to study an out-of-date technology like sorcery. Out-of-date. Ignore the principle of yin and yang, the interaction with nature. Psychic abilities is an extreme power achieved by the human race, who became detached from nature. Without interacting with nature like demons, they have superhuman power while still being humans. They are just like the hybrids, but instead of borrowing power from alien blood, they are human born with special abilities. Because there are advanced abilities, they end a single generation after an accidental appearance. Commonly called the psychics, they are the bane of the demon hybrids. To put it simply, the Nanaya clan is a special case of them. But note, psychics are not stronger than demons. It's impossible for them to stand against them. The psychic ability is just a small needle that doesn't follow the rules of yin and yang. Those abilities and effects are extremely small compared to the interaction with nature of the demons and demon hunters, and there is no way a psychic is able to fight them alone. But still, a power outside the rule can be a threat to those who live inside the rule. The demon hunters hide their existence in the beginning and use them to catch the hybrids off guard by having them appear in the middle of battle. The kind of like saying a psychic support is a stone that is thrown between two people glaring at each other. A psychic used their unusual abilities just this once, created a decisive opening in their opponent. That's how demon hunters use psychics. And even for the hybrids, they are just a bothersome, unpredictable factor. Yes, there's not a chance in a million in this world for such a thing as psychic ability, which is only the power of human can defeat a demon that is nature. However, here was the 1 in a million demon god. Since the ancient times, the Nanyas lived for generations without mixing their blood. Many hideous children were born for being incestuous. What the fuck? Wait a minute. When I think about pure blood, I'm just thinking about, humans, right? They didn't mix demon blood, but wait a minute. What the fuck? You think they kept that lore in the remake? I don't mind if they took that lore out. But the one who were able to grow up became powerful. Repeating that single blending was the reason that we're able to solidify carry on their psychic abilities. Aw. Which are supposed to be mutational gene that lasts only for one generation. Shiki looks pretty good though. I'll admit that. He's pretty handsome. On top of that, the Nanias polished their skills as assassins and learned a way to bring the psychics, who were normally on a suicide mission, home alive. Damn, my brain is like, I absorbed that, but the one that caught me off guard. This caught me way off guard. I was like, wait a minute. Did I read that right? Hold on. Alright, let me try to get that out of my head. I gotta shake it off. Hold on. Okay, I'm good. Okay. As a result, we have the Nanaya clan with power outside the boundary of a human, and the human body trained to the limit. At that point, they were not considered a clan with psychic ability, but a clan which is specifically given the title of Demon Hunters. That was the only way for the Nanaya family, who was psychic discriminated against even more than the hybrids at times, to show their usefulness and live. That's how the Demon Hunter possessed the Nanias as their absolute war power. And long and boring time passed by after that. The Nanias kept on being the greatest assassins. They knew better than anyone else that the moment they fall down from the top, the Nanaya bloodline would die out. The echoing smooth sound. Within the few minutes after Kitty entered the mansion, he killed a sixth person. Nanaya Kitty specialized in indoor jobs. There are walls and there are ceilings. Kitty's field of activity would expand to them, and he moved like a spider. Oh, that captures his prey. You remember what Hisue told us in the beginning of the game? Today, lucky item, spider. He's like a spider, bro. His speed was not a spider, but a beast. Wait, what? If there was an observer, he would have marveled at how bizarre yet beautiful a human can move. 2 ahead. No, 3. Kitty confirmed his targets through the wall. He had assassinated over 30 so far. He had all been relative of a man called Psyche, the target, and each one of them had been a hybrid of monsters. The truth was that Nanaya Kitty was the weakest among the people inside the mansion. No matter how much power he wielded as a demon hunter, the power of a single human was too little. There's no way he can win against a demon that links to the world and changes the environment. On top of that, Kitty's psychic abilities was only auxiliary, the ability to see the flow of people's thoughts. It was too thin of a thread to challenge a layer of monsters who could easily do things like reversing the temperature and freeze the opponent just by glaring at them. Damn, that's Tohno. Tohno. Akira. She does that. But Kitty only needed that thread. Well, she burns people actually. Maybe that's the opposite of Akira. By stretching the thin thread around, changing the monster layer into his own hunting ground, he killed his prey one by one. Of course, there couldn't be any murderous intentions or tension. For the head of the Nanias, this hunting ground was his daily routine. He took out another 3. The thing in Kitty's hands was only a steel drumstick. He liked to use this plain weapon, and he used it to thrust into the vital spots of human. That was a savage way of killing, far from the superior assassination skill called the pressure point. Oh shit! Okay. With the point of the stick is neither thin or thick. He crushed the bones instead of the muscles. At times, he thrust the opponent's head from above and caused the head to be pushed into the body. Whoa! Like his name said, his weapon was more like a giant awl than a drumstick. It couldn't cut, but it can make holes. As a result, it was rare that he got stained on the blood of his enemy like this. Kitty shook off the blood by wielding the drumsticks. There were only 2 people in the mansion. He was planning to spill the smell of blood here to alarm his prey, but he ended up drilling a hole into one with extra high tension. Disgusting blood. It even smells nasty. The irritated assassin said to himself. Getting showered by blood, Nanaya Kitty stopped his footsteps for the first time. He didn't like the blood, thinking that the sticky red color might bring down his precision. Nanaya Kitty found no pleasure in killing. He took this path just because he was born into the Nanaya family, and he's physically fitter than his siblings. He wasn't like his older brother who enjoyed killing, nor like his younger sister who was highly sensitive to demons and feared them. To say the least, he was the type of person who dedicates himself to one thing. How skillfully he could put a stop to a human body. That pursuit was a duty for those born in the Nanaya family, and Nanaya Kitty was just doing that single-mindedly. When he noticed there was no one who was better than him, and after he was chosen as the head, he just kept on killing the mixed beings every day for years. If you look back, that's all there was to his life, but Kitty never felt it as a burden. The only thing in his mind was how skillfully he could kill someone. There was the only meaning in his life since he was born as an anew. The 8th guy went pretty good. I'll try that again when I get home. After 30 people he had killed today, Kitty recalled that the one he was able to kill the quickest. There was no enjoyment or pain. Nanaya Kitty lacked those emotions. Therefore, he was suited for being the head of the Nanayas. Not enjoying or fearing murder, but being able to concentrate on it as a natural talent of a killer. That killer suddenly felt something strange. A foreign object entered his view, which I had been perceiving only 2 more people. There was a vermilion flow inside the mansion. Nanaya Kitty was able to perceive people's thoughts. Thoughts are waves, and most of them are dull transparent color, in which emotion can be lightly read by the speed of its flow. But there are some with its own color. Those are monsters that are too horrifying to be described as human. As far as Kitty knew, there were a few in a demon hunter organization with a divine color of blue and silver. This was vermilion. No, if I approach his body, I'll probably perceive a clearer red. Kitty had never seen a thought that strong, a thought that wicked. Without finishing to wipe the blood that still dripped from his hair, Nanaya Kitty started walking. Inside was a boy who looked barely 10 years old. The boy was wounded all over his body, and his hands and leg were chained. It was apparent that was alienated even among the hybrids. Kitty saw that it was right away. But it had nothing to do with Kitty after all. This boy was here to protect Kitty's target. Only then he needed to kill him, but that wasn't even given such a job. For Nanaya Kitty, this boy was no different than a pebble on the road. Kitty's job was to ignore and walk past him. The sound of chains. The boy looked up and perceived Nanaya Kitty. That moment, Nanaya Kitty thrust his weapon to the boy's face. He pulled out the drenched drumstick. The weapon crushed the boy's eye completely. Without even screaming, the boy's head dropped down. Dang! The dripping blood stained the tiny floor, and Kitty left the room. That was one and only personal murderous act done by the master of assassins. He found out the reason why at the end. That personal murderous intention destroyed his precise rationality for the first time. He must have been excited. The course of action Nanaya Kitty took after that was so terrible that it suggests vomiting. He barged into the room where Psyche, the target, and the man who was sent to keep an eye on him were. That wasn't like Nanaya Kitty. The reason he was able to come back alive after fighting against the hybrids was because all of it was done by assassination. The barbarous act like this was a suicide. The hybrid called Psyche didn't hesitate to use all of his power against Nani Akiri, who was invading instead of sneaking in. No, let me make a correction. He didn't hesitate because his opponent was a murderer, Nani Akiri. This man saw that from the closest place. This man was the eldest son of the hybrid family and knew the head of the Psyche family. But unlike Psyche, he cooperated with the demon hunters, because for him, his family's safety was a lot more important than the pride of his ancestors. He secretly formed an alliance with the demon hunters organization and worked under Psyche, but he kept an eye on him and made reports. It was he who was reporting that Psyche ate human flesh and that there were more than 1,000 casualties. Dang, 1,000? Originally, Psyche was the old type of hybrid, full of dominance, and from the view of hybrid, who just wanted to live peacefully like this one, he was just an annoying old man. On top of that, if this old man was a dictator died, the Psyche group cooperation would have a hole in it. It was his ambition as a businessman to make use of it. That's how the man sold the Psyche bloodline, and the demon hunters who brought it sent an assassin called Nani Akiri. The man raised a pathetic voice and realized what a dangerous place he was in. He raised a voice like a broken doll, but that disappeared behind the consistently echoing smooth sounds. BG, zoo, splash, 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 splat. Is this what they called no question asked? The man was looking at the evil demon with a laughter. There was no other choice but to look. Just as if a storm ripped into the room, the assassin annihilated Psyche body. Then, with Fusuma door opened and the assassin made an appearance, the man cursed. That was hopeless. Even you pair a dozen demon hunters, they won't be able to win head-on against Psyche, who completely awakened his demon blood. Just as he thought that this was all there was to the rumored head of the Nanayas, it happened. There was a wooden table in the traditional Japanese room. The assassin slid under it as he appeared. The man and Psyche were caught off guard. For one thing, this is a small table. What is he doing? The instant he thought that, Psyche was dragged under the table by his foot. Then this. There was no time for Psyche to scream. The moment he was dragged under the table, the head of the old man called Psyche rolled over the tiny floor. Then body parts started flying everywhere. Under that table, in a space so small that barely one person fit into it, the terrible dissection took place. And then, drenched in blood all over his body, the assassin crawled out. God dang, bro. What the fuck? Oh my god. Nani Akiri approached the man, who can't help but laugh. The emotionless eyes gazed at him, who was also a hybrid. He's going to kill me. He's going to kill me for sure, he sensed. He pointed at the random assassin and laughed. The assassin, holding the weapon drenched in blood, stood in front of the man and pushed Psyche's head, rolling next to his foot. A heavy sound. While holding the skewered head, as if he got rid of the annoying fly. Shut up. He struck with his other weapon to the heart of the man, who kept on laughing. The reason Nani Akiri missed the vital spot was, again, probably because he was terribly excited. The man who was laughing fell, and Akiri left the mansion without checking whether he was dead or alive. The man who had his chest struck survived. Introduction, development, turn. Alright. Dang, this one doesn't have water. Not this one. For some odd reason, I saw 4 dreams. A dream in which I went back to my childhood. A dream in which I became a child. Oh, we're Shiki now. A dream in which I thought of a child. Oh, and one more. Myself laughing terribly out of place, and myself in my childhood, seemingly laughing together in the sunny garden. He was in a dark traditional Japanese room. This was the space he was given since he was little, and this was the only space in which he was able to be free. He was only a small child, so he was satisfied with this size. He remembered complaining that it was too big. Is this Shiki? If this is Shiki, I mean, it's just a prologue of the remake, so I guess I could say this. Right? It's not really too much of a big deal. I think this is the setting that I saw in the remake. Right there. He wasn't very comfortable being with the others in the first place, because his eyes were special. It was an eye that seemed to be looking the inner side of people. I don't think we're Shiki, dude. I think it's just dad. Because his eyes are special, and he's a kid. I'm like, nah, this has to be his dad still. That's why he never learned words until he grew up quite big. Probably because he was able to feel what people were thinking in without talking. On top of that, the words that they used to communicate didn't really match their emotions. That's why he didn't learn words. He thought that was useless to learn a method of communication that is so incoherent. It was only natural. He was taught one thing in the beginning. A year passed after that. There wasn't really anyone who came to see him during that time. There wasn't nothing else to do, so he repeated what he was taught, and that became boring, so he modified it to a way that was easier for him to do. And when he was taught the second thing, it was after he had already learned it. Maybe not having a teacher was beneficial, and he was able to use his body without being restricted by common sense. His talent had been discovered at that point. He knew that this was a way to kill people since he was born. He knew well that this family was that kind of family, and he couldn't escape from that obligation. That's why the rest was really simple. He accepted that and kept on polishing his techniques. That was the only meaning of existence. Anything else must have been bothersome for them. That's why he kept on running. Without looking back, without thinking of anything else, he aimed for somewhere. Even as a child, he thought that he was just going to think about how well he can kill someone all his life. But as a result, that was wrong. What happened? Dang, it's red. The boy in a dark traditional Japanese room. This was the space he was given since he was little, and this was the only space he was able to be free. The boy was only a small child, so I think he was satisfied with the size. The boy glared at the empty space as if he was complaining that it was too big. The boy didn't understand people in the first place. Their behavior, expression, words, he didn't understand anything well. The boy thought that he must not be human, but a dog. There was a severe gap that wasn't it. He might have gone crazy. The gap wasn't solved until the boy met the same type of person as him. Everyone called him a demon child. They were a clan that continued to mix with pure demons called an ogre in the first place. But once the boy who preserved their desired purity was born, the clan desperately tried to hide his existence. Hold on. Even they, who were not normal, must have realized that he wasn't something that should have been born. So the sins of their bloodline, over several hundred years, have finally taken shape in their generation. And those who were called the Kishima family realized that they were taking the path to destruction when they got there. No doubt that this is where all the bloodline of the hybrids end. They were just terribly slower than the others, or terribly earlier. The boy was never taught anything. No one talked to him in the first place, so there was no need to learn words. But there was never a need to tell others his thoughts earlier. When they mention Kishima, I think of Kouma, right? And then when I think of this, there was a clan that continued to mix the pure demon called an ogre in the first place. Is this the Kishima clan? And then there was a boy who preserved that desired purity, was born. The clan desperately tried to hide his existence. So the sins of the bloodline. Oh shit. Maybe. Oh, let's keep going. No one talked to him in the first place, so there was no need to learn words. And there was never a need to tell others his thoughts either. The boy's vicious eyes pulls out the inner side of people. Most of the people who met him were nothing but terrified. That's how the boy learned that people were like that, and since they only act like that, there was no need for him to learn words. It was only natural. The boy liked the forest and wished to be among the animals. They didn't allow that. Even if it was just out of the formality, they couldn't let the success of the family live in such a way. More than anything, it must have been embarrassment for them to have the next head of the family wishing to live like a beast. But the boy wasn't in full like they were thinking, and he matured pretty fast. The way it's talking right now, their narration, it makes me think, I think I'm Kouma right now. In the red room? That might be Kouma. The boy knew how to seal his powers early on, and as a matter of fact, he never opened his cage since he was born. That was the fasting that began right when he was born. The boy just kept on suppressing his thirst, and the beast called himself. Normally, the bloodlust only happened after growing up as a human and finding something in need protection. The inversion impulse that the boy bloodline experiences destroys the person within a year, even the mind of an adult. The boy was withstanding that quietly. Yeah, I think we're Kouma right now. Maybe. Because inversion, right? The demon impulse. It should have been impossible for a child who does not know words and does not know what a family is. In other words, the boy is trying to protect his family without even knowing. Father, mother, siblings, he doesn't know how these things are related with himself. But he was suppressing himself to protect them. That's probably because he knew that someday, returning to Tohya peacefully after being forgotten like that was the right thing. But that didn't last long. The one who put an end to it was someone other than the boy. You were out of your mind since you were born. Receiving that curse, the boy was shot in the head. God damn, with the bullet! Those words were true. Wait, is that a metaphor? Or that's they really get shot in the head? Those words were true. The boy was different since he was born. That was why he was able to suppress the blood longer than them and didn't go crazy like them. And then, the boy who was out of his mind since he was born couldn't even die from such a thing. That was real. They shot him in the head. When the old man called Shiki brought his men, it was all over. The mansion burned down and the clan was slaughtered, leaving only one person. He didn't understand what a family was in the first place, so internet must have been easy for him. That's how he was possessed. There was no regret, no remorse, no emotion, and no feelings. After all, that was a living being that can only exist that way from the beginning. And so, he was in an old traditional Japanese room. He wanted to accept his traditional room like there was a prison for him. He was sitting straight in a room that's too big for a child and looked absently-mindedly at the forest at night. He was frightened every time he looked at you. It's probably because he didn't know your looks well enough. After you were born, you left the organization. There were many who opposed, but he shut them up by force. That was wrong, but I think there was no other way. He came back to the mansion, where he spent his childhood, and as a result, you were locked within the dark forest. He wasn't thinking of making you go through the same life that he had. Even then, he taught you the minimum to protect yourself, and there was also a time where you were playing trying to copy him. But you weren't a person like him, and you were an unbelievably gentle child. When you said that you liked this place without anything, deep in the mountains, and you said that you were going to live here all your life and pass away quietly, he was frightened again. He knew that the child's wish was his wish, and it was a wish that could never be fulfilled. Because he never talked much, you rarely spoke either. And then, even then, it was obvious to everyone that you loved him. It wasn't very good at expressing his feelings, and her, who was always sick in bed. Excuse me. Because you had an honest affection, everyone understood your mind without having to put it into words. It was only natural that you didn't need words. Even then, he didn't take you out to the open until you were able to protect yourself. In the 6th winter, when this was soon to be settled, in the season waiting for spring, he heard a disturbing rumor. This said a certain group of hybrids was after his clan. He wasn't surprised. For one thing, his clan killed so many under the name of the organization. After losing protection from the organization, there should be many who want to take revenge against his clan. That was also only natural. Oh dang. Hold on. Let me wind that back a little bit. So that blue scene, I think we're back to Nanaya Kitty, but I think he's grown. He was saying a child. Let me see. This one, right? He was frightened every time he looked at you. It's probably because he didn't know your looks well enough. After you were born, he left the organization. I think this is Nanaya Kitty after he's an adult, and I think he had a family. I think after you were born, I think that's probably Tohno. Not Tohno, my bad. Nanaya Shiki. So after Nanaya Shiki was born, Nanaya Kitty left the organizations. And then he heard that there's a whole bunch of people trying to kill him. Damn, that sucks. Bro, he just wanted to live in the mountains, bro. Fuck. What the fuck? Why? Hearing that his mansion was getting attacked soon, Nanaya Kitty laughed lightly. You idiot, there's no time to be laughing. There isn't much time. If you're going to do something about it, make it quick. Aren't you the head of the clan? You shouldn't be ending your blow on such a small disaster. The doctor glared at Kitty. Damn, he laughed. This is a man he knew from way back. Even after Kitty left the organization, he couldn't just forget about him. He secretly told him about the assault. But Nanaya Kitty, the person in question, was just sitting there laughing. No, but thanks for the information. But what difference does escaping make? If they're going to attack us, I would rather confront them with my own backyard. I don't intend on asking you for help, or more of her. This being the first hunting in a long while, Kitty sharpened his eyes. Kitty, didn't you leave the organization to break away from that job? You knew that assassins were no longer needed anymore. Isn't that why you went out of your way and left? If that's the case, hey, stop preaching. Why is it that I have to listen to your lectures when I just came for a treatment? Here, stop talking and start working, you quack. I got my shoulder busted working as a bodyguard when I haven't done so in a while. I don't understand. Someone's after you when you're supposed to have quit, but you're minding your own business to take on a job as a bodyguard for Tozaki? I don't know what that is. No, because you do odd things like that. There are fools who will start seeing the Nanayas as problematic. How can I help it? We know the Tozakis since the previous head. Besides, I actually got some money. It was a pretty good job. I thought you settled down after you had a child, but you haven't changed. Yeah, I knew I was right. You quit after he had Shiki. That's pretty cute. That's so wholesome. He moved to the mountains, bro. I heard you were a fallen father, but I'm starting to be suspicious. Shut up. Forget that. Hurry up and finish it. Kitty didn't speak anymore, and the doctor treated him quietly. And suddenly, hey old man. The assassin, once feared as a demon god, raised a voice in an extremely calm tone. People's minds are very well made. Oh? What makes you say that? Nothing. I just felt that way. Muttering that, Kitty stopped talking. 6 years ago. As the head of the Nanayas, he had a child. In order to maintain the position of being assassins, they made the generation transition early. By the time their physical ability started to decline, the child had already matured, and the name of Nanaya is succeeded to the next generation. His elder brother and younger sister had already had children, and they were receiving training as a potential successor. Compared to them, Kitty had a child quite late. The reason Kitty never had a child was because he simply didn't find the need to do so. He was just thinking of having his elder brother or younger sister children to be the successor. For Kitty, who only had interest in how to kill people, a thing such as a child was totally beyond understanding. No, maybe Kitty already knew. that he was a person who grew up while still remaining a child. A person who concentrated on one thing, chipping off everything needed as a human being. A person who was only looking at what he liked. An experienced child who only knew about one thing. There was no such a child who could raise a son. And obviously he never even imagined it. In other words, a child was something excessive and not needed for Nanaya Kitty. That was before he saw his own son. How did he get a child though? Who the wall? Kitty was thinking he shouldn't feel anything. He never needed it to begin with, so his son had to be something just bothersome. That's why he was thinking of seeing him just once and leaving the rest to the woman. However, his world flipped over when he saw him. Oh, let's go! It was a transformation that felt like something fell right into his place. Or did the thing that was possessing him since he was born disappeared? Damn, bro, it's true. They say if you have a kid, your entire life changes, man. Your perspective changes. Either way, the instant Nanaya Kitty saw this living being, he made up his mind to quit his career as an assassin. He probably still doesn't carry such an emotion like loving a child, but he just felt that he needed to, and his lifestyle since that day completely changed. He was a man who only knew how to kill people in the first place, and now he was trying to make people live. And this was literally a turning point in life. Kitty has said that people's minds are very well made. That was definitely true, and everything about the ways of making people live were new to him and difficult. Kitty, who was accustomed to killing, was no longer bored for his life for the past months and years. Can I ask you something? Did you quit because you love your son? No. Fuck. He said no. No way. I quit for myself. That's right. If a child is a duplicate copy of oneself, you don't want to make him take the same path as you. I want to see if he's able to take a different path than me. I see. The doctor nodded his head. The treatment is over and Kitty turned his back. Alright, take care. If we ever meet again, I might ask for your help. The doctor doesn't answer. After Nanaya Kitty left, the doctor repeats his words. Aw, dang, if he is able to take a different path, huh? I wonder if the man who said that, it was for himself, realizes that this emotion was in fact the love of a father? You fool. Why do you have to develop a human emotion now? Everything was too late. Finding happiness as a human was a misfortune for that flawless killer. It's impossible for you. You'll never be able to attain it. Mumbling to himself, the doctor laughed with a sigh. Dang, that's sad. The killer himself must know that more than anyone. That man had already accepted his end, that would eventually come. Evolving his clan, including his own son, he left the path of being an assassin. Being the head of the Nanayas, he must have known. The Nanayas were able to exist because they were able to be the greatest assassins. Hence, when they go down from the top, that's when the Nanaya clan dies out. Just that its arrival comes 6 years slower. That was all there is to the story. Then Nanaya Kitty was the greatest assassin. Conclusion. This is the conclusion. Oh no. Dang! Is this the water I drink? I don't remember. I think it is. I hope they make an OVA. Right? I hope the Tsukihime remake, it did very well in Japan. Right? 300,000 copies in the first week. That's pretty good for a visual novel. So I hope it blows up enough. But they should just make animes from it, dude. If they don't want to make anime, I saw some of the visual novel, right? Because I got curious. I own it. I'll be fine with a fan disc. I'll buy a fan disc, dude. I don't know if they would make one though. I hope they do. A fan disc remake would be cool, or something. And so the night came. So, we are unable to make contact with the men below. Yes. Additionally, the far seers have spotted 2 groups coming in from below. They number approximately 50, I'm afraid. They must be Tohno private army. Damn, 50? Considering their numbers, they're probably intent on killing us all. Nani and Kitty laughed delightedly. Dang. There was no feeling of anxiety. The situation where 50 armed men were closing in on this mansion. This place was deep in the mountains, and the landlord for the organization had already bought by their enemy. They were unable to seek help, and besides, there wouldn't be anyone who'd come to their aid. In this situation, Kitty was laughing. Of course, because he already knew this was coming. No, it would be more accurate to say that he was waiting for this. But the Tohnos? I don't know such fellas. I wonder when it reoccurred their hatred. Do you know? No. The Tohnos were never on targets. Besides, they are on good terms with the organization, so there shouldn't have been any instances where we did anything to them. I see, then it must have been some stupid reason. They are funny fellows to throw away their lives like that. Master, are you telling me that you're going out to fight them? Of course. We need to stop trouble beforehand, or it may disturb our sleep. If the higher-ups are just going to watch this, it'll be better for us. No matter how many we kill, they'll clean up after our mess. But we won't be able to do that without casualties either. Our enemy aren't hybrids, but armed people. They are skillful and equipped like professional assassins. You're right. We won't be able to avoid bullets. They can't dodge bullets! Greatest assassins in the world, huh? Alright, I'll go on ahead and take care of the troublesome ones. I'll leave my older brother and others in charge of disposing the leftover meals. And so Kitty stood up. There was no need for a report of the enemy routes, since Kitty knew the terrain down to the individual trees. If he knew just the direction the enemies were approaching from and where they were headed to, he could naturally figure out their path. Master, what is it? What should we do with your son? If you order us to do so, we'll risk our lives to take him outside. Don't. We'll just beat our target. If you had combat abilities, have confidence in yourself. He's still a child who doesn't even have combat abilities. So the ones who need to prioritize are you guys. But Shiki's our child. Oh damn, that's the mom. What the fuck? Damn, bro, she call him master. Oh shit. Damn. Let him sleep. Maybe that'll be the best way for him to survive. Laughing delightfully, Kitty left the room. Damn, bruh. This family is fucked up, bruh. I don't want to know more about this family. All I know is Kitty. Kitty's an alright guy, bro. He killed a lot of people, but he turned a new leaf after Shiki was born. Family's weird, bro. I guess that's why they're the greatest assassins, though. Nani and Kitty went ahead and struck the silence. Since Kitty had been assassinating on his own, working together as a group would just mess him up. Kitty ran through the night, the forest that he knew everything about. There were 50 enemies. They were coming up the mountain, equipped with heavy artillery. What idiots. Kitty swore as he slipped through the trees. If they were going to spend money, they should have just come from above. It was too impractical to come up from below. Or were they seriously thinking that they could hide themselves in a mountain? Against Narnia forest filled with all kinds of traps. Then he got shot. For a split second, there was a dull sound. A sudden assault. Comrades were dead before they knew it. Numerous traps appearing from underground. They fired their weapons, trying to resist whatever it was, and sounds and lights continued to spark. In the confusion, they decreased in number one by one. The line of command must have been disrupted. Moving disorganized, they shouted out. Even then, they were skilled individuals, and they escaped using their own judgment. In silence. The only things remaining in the forest were dead bodies. There were many kind. A dead body crushed by a collapsed tree, a dead body that was shot by his comrade, a dead body whose neck was twisted off from behind, a dead body which was skewered through his brain to his neck, and so on. It's pretty gory. After verifying where all the silence escaped off to, Kitty started moving again. There were slightly more than 10 enemies left in this area, a number that Kitty could take out without taking too long. After finishing the last one, Kitty stopped. There were two options. He could go kill the other silence, or he could keep on going down and kill their enemy leader, most likely waiting to see how things will turn out from below. The silence should be already surrounded by the mansion from all four sides. There isn't much meaning to killing them one by one. That's when he thought killing the enemy leader and leave the other silence to the ones in the mansions. Now Kitty encountered the one other attacker that newly appeared. Excuse me. He was a young man with a single eye. Aw, shit. It's Kouma, bro. It's a shame he missed Makihisa hard. That was Makihisa. I didn't know that. That makes sense though. Makihisa was the one that shredded that dude limb by limb. So that's why he's after him. There was a young man with a single eye. Kouma. Seemingly not carrying any firearms or weapons, he appeared by himself slowly from behind the shadows of the trees. Kitty's heart pounds rapidly. The face of the man, who never even lifted his eyebrows in any kind of assassination, froze when he saw that young man. Without thinking twice, he made an escape. As he was doing that, he triggered all the traps set up in the area. Flying blades, collapsing trees, masses of spears shooting up from the ground. The forest shook, and after no more than a second, the place that Kitty was standing was wrecked without leaving a trace. There was no need to do that. Makihisa was the guy in the room who told the organization. Dang. But there was no need to do that, because that silence wouldn't be heard from such things in the first place. Are you Nanaya, Kitty? The young man asked, appearing for the collapsed forest, as if nothing happened. Kitty glared at him without answering. The vermilion color flowed, sharper than back then. The young man was a member of the clan called Kishima, mixing with non-human race called the Ogres, the descendant of the one who mixed not only the blood but the flesh as well. The flesh? No wonder he's so brolic. He's like an ogre. Alright. A clan that was only wanted for the power of destruction. You could say that they were the Nanayas of demon hybrids. Dang, the strongest. But he had heard the bloodline of the Kishimas, which always produced those who loses their mind, died out a few years ago. They weren't destroyed by others, but was killed by one who lost his mind, produced by themselves. The one who lost his mind, I heard his name was Kishima Kouma. He was barely 10 when he destroyed, all the Kishimas, the clan of demons, awakening the inhuman blood within himself. One who turned himself into a demon while still being a human. Then we killed all the Kishimas. In the old legend, it was called Kuronai Sekishu. Hey kid, have you met before? Kitty took a deep stance and made Kouma. Hey, I never seen Kouma other eye. Oh shit. You know, now that I think about it, I never seen Kouma other eye. Was that kid Kouma when he stabbed him in the eye to the brain and made Kouma came into his range? The young man caught Kouma and didn't answer and just raised his arms. That moment, the battle began. Yeah, he was. Dang. Kitty was forestalled. In one step, he jumped under his opponent guard and crushed his neck before he realized he got hit. The move he believed that would have no equal got literally smashed into pieces by a single blow of the enemy. Kishima Kouma jumped in first, before Nanaya Kitty took a step. Raising a wind noise, he stood in front of Kitty and thrust out his fringed arm. Although surprised, he dodged that and pierced the elbow of the arm that was poorly extended. That was supposed to have made Kouma's arm useless. But Kouma's body didn't have a scratch. Kitty instantly understood that his enemy body was as hard as steel and jumped back to open the distance. The demonic hand of the one-eyed chases after him. Damn, now I know the lore of fucking one-eyed Kouma, bro. I thought he just covered up his hair. There's a reason. I didn't even know there was a lore. Kitty was backed up against a large tree. He lured Kouma thrusting arm and dodged it by the hairline. Koma's arm didn't stop and struck the large tree. I got him, thought Kitty. However, he decided to pull back. Kouma did not kill his family. Saki men did. It's parallel to Shiki's. Oh, why did it say it here though? Oh, it says destroyed. Saki men wouldn't make can't go all the way back up, but I think they probably did mention that. That makes sense, I guess. Saki men killed the family, the Kishima. I got him, thought Kitty. However, that would make a lot of sense too, because Kouma was alone and tied up, right? So that would make sense why Kouma was there. I got him, thought Kitty. However, he decided to back up. Or he decided to pull back. Kitty prioritized his decisions. In order to open a distance to Kouma, who was supposed to be wide open, Kitty turned his body into a spring. In that instant, the large tree that Kishima Kouma had struck collapsed. Huh? Many things occurred for the first time tonight. Kitty raised a voice during the battle for the first time. It was when it said he was shot. He shot him in the head. Oh! Okay, so they were talking about... Alright, I see. I was like, who was shooting him in his head? It was that. Alright, I got you. But that ain't... Nah. But that couldn't be helped. The large tree was almost a meter thick, and there was no way it could have fallen down from just a punch of a person. And yet he knocked it down. Furthermore, it wasn't by the impact of the hit, but this man crushed the large tree with his hands. In his hands. His grip strength wasn't of a dimension that could be just called strong. The single-eyed beam across to capture Kitty, who was trying to escape. Ha! Kitty laughed. He didn't laugh at the result of his own assassination skills until now. But for the first time, he laughed thinking of the battle that was about to take place. It was a fabulous time. No matter what he did, he wasn't able to hurt the boy. The only thing he could do was to run around. All the traps set in the forest had no effect. The Kitty weapon couldn't even scratch him. There was no chance for him to win. There was no chance for him to go home alive. It was a fabulous time. At least Kitty felt that way. Kishima Kouma was charging at him. That was just a charge. He was surprised by the speed at first, but was nothing after he got used to it. At any rate, this man didn't know any skills of assassination. He charged like a gust of wind. His body, that thrust like a sickle at the god of death. His body is steel that repels all kind of weapons. He was just born with all kinds of these things. The man called Kishima Kouma never did anything that could be considered as training. That was such a simple and primitive form of destruction with nothing extra. Kitty couldn't stop laughing. Oh, he's laughing? Haha. Damn, he couldn't go home to his son. A demonic arm that could destroy him just by touching flew right in front of his eyes. Dodging that to the left by the hairbreadth, he thrust his weapon at his enemy unguarded, left side of his neck. Of course, it had no effect. He's been repeating it a dozen times, but Kouma's neck wasn't hurt. Kitty was laughing at himself in his mind. You can't even kill one person after all this? You call yourself the greatest assassin? There was no need for an embarrassment. It had been against a normal person. The precise blow would have essentially killed him 40 times over. Without missing a single millimeter, dodging the demonic hand of instant death, he keeps on hitting the same spot. How could anyone else but Nanaya Kitty do such a thing that could even be considered an illness? After several collapses of trees, when Kitty saw Kouma's arm crushes the trunk of his hand, he thought, Nanaya Kitty was a demon god who pursued killing. Kishima Kouma must be a demon god who was a master of destroying. Their power was similar but different. It's probably wrong to compare them, but Kiri knew that he was inferior to him. The only one who could fight against this demon god equally is one who was similar master of death. After all, Nanaya Kiri, who pursued death, who never had it from the beginning, couldn't get up to that level. If there was anything that could who could fight with him equally, they would be just like this demon god, a thing that was born broken. However, for this reason, because it was Nanaya Kiri who wasn't born with death, there was a horizon that could be reached. After several demonic hands of Kouma, Koma's expression didn't change one bit. That was because he was uninterested killer, just like Nanaya Kiri in the past. A killer who did not fear his own death nor his target, but just concentrated on his own activities. We both were losing out, weren't we, kid? Kid thought, and his killing, his laughter, he prepared for the final blow. I was really losing out. I never knew that a battle was something so awful. A fear that flips over your heart. Uncertain if your blow would be able to defeat your opponent. The mind turning white, everything becoming meaningless. I feel like throwing up, and it's difficult to kill my laughter. I was really losing out. There is a problem with a shape, but this is such a simple struggle for life. Then there could be no other moment that could feel so alive. The flying demonic arm. Again, dodging by a hair breadth, Kitty rolled over to the right side. A change occurred in Koma's single eye. Similarly, Nanaya Kiri himself, for the first time, felt his own death. Because Nanaya Kiri kept on dodging to the left side, Koma couldn't follow his target that slipped to the right side. In addition, there's an absolute blind spot for him, who has right eye crushed. The flying weapon. All of his strength, Kiri struck his weapon into Koma's neck. Not to the left side of the neck that had kept on striking, but to the right side. Precisely just like the left side, to the location where it's beautifully symmetrical. The reason he poked the child's eye the moment he saw him. This is the reason. He, at the time, sensed that he wouldn't be able to defeat the monster called Kouma. And just as once in his life, he prepared a chance to win out of a personal emotion. In the distant future, if there were a time when he had to fight this monster, he'd be able to end it with his one blow. You bastard. The dry and dead voice of Kouma. Damn. Kitty was the one who cursed. The laughter that he was suppressing subsided. His weapon was embedded in the neck, about 1 centimeter deep. The impact should have been penetrated to the left side of the neck for sure. Then the accumulated damage should have broken Koma's neck. What are you? Then why was Koma raising his voice? Kitty was knocked over into a tree. Kouma snatched his body and just threw him. Nanaya Kitty's stomach area was crushed in that instant. His remaining upper body slides down the trunk. The next moment, Kouma ran into the tree, and Nanaya Kitty's face was smashed instantly. Damn. If there was a reason Nanaya Kitty lost, then it must have been his life itself. Nanaya Kitty was an assassin, not a murderer. That's why he only poked the eye out at that time. If he sensed that it would eventually become a powerful threat, he wouldn't kill a child. That was the most simple reason why Kouma lived and Nanaya Kitty died. Kouma felt his neck slowly. It was a dull pain. Kouma didn't know. He grew up without knowing what pain was. That's why he didn't know that if this pain would be a little stronger, his neck would have fallen off. His heart pounded rapidly. An unknown order ran through his body. His fingertips shook and his eye couldn't focus. He breathed consciously for the first time and looked down at the dead body in front of him. Another heartbeat. His body felt hot, like it was part of another person. It felt like a dream, Kouma thought. But that's not it. He finally woke up from a dream. 6 years ago, just like Nanakiri, who hurt the child who might kill him out of his own will for the first time and lost his sanity. It was just a cluttered mist of himself, where everything felt empty and meaningless came off. But he couldn't understand what it was. He couldn't stand it when he thought the mist returning, and he would return to his empty self again if he did nothing. It's hot, but it's a pleasant heat. That's what it means to live and to breathe. It was after he killed this man that he felt it. That's why he thought that if he repeated again, the heat would continue. Ah, a voice linked out from the monster's mouth. The monster started walking into the Nanaya forest. He was losing his mind. Then he just went on a rampage, killed everyone. Burned the forest on fire. Oh shit! Damn, they haven't played this song in a while. Godlike. Best theme in the game, bro. That scream sounded like reed cropping. The moon was in the distance. The forest was quiet. I started walking into the empty darkness. I met a demon in the black field. A wee Tohno Shiki. Maybe. The ground was burnt, and the grass field had turned into the wildland. The wildland was vermilion colored, as if it was stuffed with strawberries, and red colored like blood. That was a vermilion colored demon standing there. It was a hazy like a mirage, so it was so scary. When I vaguely looked up to it, it looked like it was laughing. Maybe it didn't know how to laugh. It didn't look too happy. Are you Nanaya? It said, laughing. I nodded yes, and asked if it knew where my dad was. Damn, bro, Shiki. The demon smiled even more. You'll eventually see him. He said that, sharpening his red eyes. He disappeared as if he was eaten by the bush. Someone's calling me in the distance. It's scared to be alone, so I need to go deeper into the forest. On the other side of the curtain of trees, there are noises like a festival. Nanaya Shiki walks deeper into the forest. This the end of the story. Damn, bro, this is the prequel of the original Tsukihime. It's an old story that no one knows about anymore, so there isn't anyone who knows about it, how it ended either. If there is anyone, it's probably only that. A blue moon in the sky. The story begins here. Dang, Tsukihime, a piece of blue glass moon. Damn, bro. That was godlike. I think that's my favorite story, easy. I can see why a lot of people talked about it too. That was good, bro. That was a good story. Dang, dude. Dang. And then we, at least based on the original Tsukihime, if we're going to continue from there, in the prologue, Shiki mom probably protected him, at least. It says that a person that looked like his mom, or that he called mom, fell, died, stopped breathing. And then we don't know what happened after that. I think that's it. He just looked at the moon and said, it looks so beautiful. Kouma is the servant level, by the way. I believe it. 27 Dead Apostle Ancestor Series. 10 Neuro Chaos. Refer to Tsukihime. Okay, that's cool. Kouma's a beast. Man got poked in the eye. Still lived. Man took a bullet in the brain. Bullet to the head. Still lived. What a beast. Red Demon God. I don't like that. Damn, Demon God. Nanaya. Right? But Red Demon God. Toma. Not Toma. What the fuck's Toma? Kouma. Alright. So that was the Red Demon God. We can continue to day 33. Let's continue. Just reading ahead. Okay. We can start 33. I'm thinking. Yeah, let's start 33. Do I want to? I'm thinking, because there's some other stuff I have to do too tonight. It's getting late. It's 11:30. Let me see. I gotta predict. I think it's a good stopping point actually. Maybe I'll stop for here. I really want to beat this game tomorrow, but I don't think I can. So I might as well take it slow too. Right? Slow and steady wins the race. Take your time, enjoy. Don't digest too much. So that's GG from Kagetsu Tohya. GG's. Good session. We'll continue on tomorrow. We'll start day 33. So that's GG's.